What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode on Common Sense, the podcast. Today, we've got a special guest for you guys who truly has lived through it all, man. Like, I've been waiting to get my boy Jason Nemes on here for a while. He's the owner of Summit Roofing and Construction. I mean, this is going to take me a minute. I mean, he's best-selling author of Code of Behavior. He's a TEDx speaker. I mean, this dude has been a powerhouse in the health and wellness and fitness industry. I mean, that's one of the first places I ever ran into Jason was at the gym, and honestly was like someone I kind of looked up to, like, fuck, I want to be like that dude. Like, that's what I'm trying to do, you know? Like, I watch these guys come in and you can see it, man. Like, the minute you walk in, like, what these guys do, what they're about, their character, their discipline. I don't think there's many better judges on stuff like that than seeing somebody that puts that kind of dedication into their life from the ground up, man. So I'm excited to sit down here with you today. But I mean, this dude's had massive professional success on every level. And like, I know it hasn't always been that way for him. Like, I know he's gone through the shit too. And I'm excited for him to share his story with you because, I mean, we're going to get into this. But I mean, Easter 2021, this guy died, and yet he's
went right to it.
Back here doing his thing. And I mean, I know you've gone through all of that, so I know you're stronger and better ever today, recently married, and you just, man, everything's on the up and up. So I'm excited for you to get to share your story with everybody today, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. I'm grateful. I always love the opportunity to share on different podcast audiences because I think we have a duty and an obligation to help those with what we've been through, because there's always people that can relate to things that we've overcome in our lives. There's always going to be people that are going through what we were able to push past. So for whenever people hear that somebody else was able to persevere and push through, it gives them more confidence that they can do it too. So like you said, I've been through a lot, I've grown through a lot, and I mean, it might sound cliche to say, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I just wouldn't. And things just keep getting better and better.
It's funny how that is, right?
It is,
like, because
yeah.
like you sit there and torture yourself in the times that are bad. Like, is this ever gonna get better? And like, a lot of people slip into the shit. Like, they get really out of shape. They get depressed. They start drinking. They start smoking. They do all these things. Like, I know personally, I've been there, and it's like you don't know where else to go at that point, and like, you feel like you need to like keep questioning things and reevaluating things. But if you just get back in and start doing the simple things and taking care of yourself, it just all starts going up from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because it's directly in relation to my favorite book of all time, besides the Code of Behavior, of course.
Little biased, maybe.
Yeah, a little biased. But no, Outwitting the Devil, man, it's my favorite book of all time.
Book?
Outwitting the Devil. Have you never
read that?
Oh, man.
All right, I got a new book.
Man. So I recommend all the listeners, anybody that watches this, to listen to the audio versus read. It's about drifting. That's what it is. Drifting off your path. So the book was actually written in 1938. And they didn't publish it until 2011 because they said it was too controversial for people to handle. Napoleon Hill interviews the devil, is what it is. And just the things that he talks about, there were zero studies on it. They didn't talk about the effects of smoking cigarettes or tobacco. They didn't talk about the effects of alcohol on the body. Like, there were just, and it's funny because we're smoking a cigar and having a drink, but people do it to an extent that has them drift off their path, where it becomes a problem, which also leads to other things. And so for me, I'll have one or two and be done. And I do it maybe 2 or 3 times a month. Zero drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes, nothing like that. But that's really the main thing, is that the devil is always present, always working on getting you to drift off your path. So what you were just talking about, we always go back to these things and we kind of revert back to old ways. So actually, it brings up one of my favorite quotes. one of the biggest differences between successful people and unsuccessful people is successful people do what is goal achieving, not stress relieving, until goal achieving habits become stress relieving habits. So what that means is when you start to get stressed and life is kicking you in the ass, instead of reverting to drugs and to alcohol and to sex and porn and things that are not aligned with where you want to be in life, you revert to doing things that will get you closer to where you want to be in life. Helping somebody out, reading a book, going for a run, going to the gym, things that are aligned with where you want to be.
Absolutely, man. Like, I love it. I'm definitely going to say this. I can't believe there's a Napoleon Hill anything
Outwitting the
that
devil.
I have not already read.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I read it once or twice a year long.
Well, yeah, with Think and Grow Rich, it is just unreal, man. That book is, and it's my favorite book because it's so relevant to me in my life. Because I would do the things that it talked about, and then when I would listen to it, I would be like, the devil cannot win, because that's exactly what's happening. It's the devil, and then I started to think the devil's trying to get me to drift off my path. I got to get back on my path. Yeah,
right on. Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. So tell everybody a little bit about you growing up, like where you grew up. I know you're here locally and stuff like that, but tell everybody a little bit about Jason and where you grew up, what type of family you grew up in, and just give everybody a little bit of background for those that don't know you.
Yeah, so I'm from Plano, Texas, which is down the street from where we're at. We're in Frisco. My parents split when I was 1, and I still thank them to this day for this, but I was always able to see my dad. And my dad stayed in my life, and we're still very close to this day. And I thank him for that. And I thank both of my mom and my dad for staying cordial and not using me against the other, right? Because that happens a lot. I see it all the time, and it's very unfortunate. All it does is affect the child in a negative way. So, yeah, I grew up in Plano, went to Plano West, graduated. I mean, I've worked many different jobs. My parents had me working at 12. I was a linesman for soccer games for 7-year-olds, and then at 13 you could become a ref. So then I was reffing 7, 8, 9-year-olds, but it was basically one of those things where, you want a video game for it. And I think that played a huge part. Actually, I know it played a huge part into the work ethic and the man that I am today, in regards to I've never had really anything just handed to me. It's always been you want something, go make it happen. Nobody's going to give you anything in this world. So, and I worked, many different things. I waited tables a lot. I personal trained and bartended for a bit. And then I went to North Texas. I went back to North Texas when I was 23, graduated at 27 with a BBA in economics, got into the corporate world. And it's funny, I bartended, and I made $4,000 to $5,000 a month working just Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And we got there at 9 and left around 3 to 4:30, depending on which spot I was at.
Right.
You know how that goes. And I graduate, I get my corporate job, and I'm making $2,000 a month after taxes, working about 60 hours a week. And that is kind of what led me to the entrepreneurial world, because I had run into a buddy and I told him no to the opportunity in the network marketing space for 4.5 years. Went to college, got my degree, got out, realized I wasn't happy doing what I was doing, but didn't know what to do, what to pursue. And then of all days, his birthday is April 4th, which is the day that I had my massive heart attack, years later after that. But it's just funny that that's the day. But yeah, a buddy of mine had asked me to go to Oklahoma for a party, so we went up to Oklahoma from Dallas. I was living in Dallas at the time. And then I ran into him that night. It was April 4th, 2013. And then I saw what he had accomplished, because we all went back to his house. I saw his house, I saw his cars. And so the next day I tried the products of what he was selling. and I felt great. Long story short, I ended up getting into the business, and I just dove head in. I mean, like head first. I was gung-ho. I was all about it, and I was a big hater. I mean, again, I said no for 4.5 years. So when he got me, I mean, I was all about it.
This was Herbalife, right?
Yeah. So you probably can't put that in there.
Okay.
Just for their purposes. That's why
Gotcha.
I was navigating around it. But yes, that is who it was with. And yeah, man, I had a trash bag of clothes and I was living in my buddy's living room, May 1st, 2013. I built a 7-figure business in 3 years with the company, got to making 6 figures a year. At that point, I hit the top 1% of the company in 6 years, the top 1% of the top 1% 2 years later, so 8 years. And I mean, that company changed my life, and it really set things in motion for what was going to be coming later on in my life.
Was that really where your fitness journey kind of began?
No, fitness, I was always in fitness.
Always?
No, I had always been in fitness. Yeah.
Because, like, and this amazes me. I mean, you know, we've known each other long enough now. You've seen me at, like, one of my worst and where I'm coming back down now and getting my stuff back in line. And you've been a big motivation for that amongst a lot of my other close friends up at the gym. But to see someone like you, I mean, you walk around to what, like 215 and like 6% body fat?
Ish. Yeah, 215 to 220, between 6 and 8%. Yeah.
Like,
it just depends on how much I'm around my wife. I joke around I kind of get mad
married
about
life
it.
changes things, bro.
Yeah, because we have a place here and then a place in Austin, and it just depends on like storm season and what's going on and what's busy, kind of where I need to be. And I mean, she supports it 100%. But whenever we're together and we're around each other, there's a little bit more eating that takes place.
Yeah.
And usually I'll gain around 3% body fat. I always mess with her, so yeah. And I mean, I do enjoy to eat, so.
Why has fitness been such a stronghold in your life?
I mean,
I know it's super important.
Yeah, that's a great question. I love to look and feel a certain way. And I really think that's what it came down to before. Now, because of the heart situation, I love to look and feel a certain way. Also, as a man, you can't buy the physique, right? You can't buy 6% body fat, 7% body fat walking around.
No.
I mean, that is pure discipline. So when you walk into a room, professionals, or really anywhere for that matter, and you're in badass shape, you're automatically, you have an up with respect automatically.
Absolutely.
Because people know, like, if you look like that, you say no to a lot of things they say yes to. You look how they want to look, but they don't have the discipline and the willpower to make it happen. Everybody wants to look like that, but they're not willing to do what it takes. And for me, it's become clockwork. Like, I don't even think about it. I know exactly what I'm eating. I tell my wife, I'll eat food cold. I don't care. Like ground bison, steak, lean ground turkey, rice, it doesn't matter. Eggs, I will eat it cold if I have to. I eat for how I want to look, not how it tastes. Yeah. But then also, I know that it's good for my heart and it's good for my body and my overall well-being and longevity.
Where did that connection and where did you really like learn to like tweak that to get to that level? Because I know you don't.
People that are smarter than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have friends that are they're like encyclopedias, man. They just know so much about so much, and I'll reach out to them and ask them questions, and they give me answers.
Right on. So you built a massive career now in roofing and fitness and health. How did you get your start in the business world, and what was your early motivation for becoming an entrepreneur?
In the business world, period, or roofing, or
you can pick one. It doesn't matter. I know the roofing's the newest.
Yeah, I kind of already went over the network marketing side.
Mm-hmm.
I said no for 4.5 years. I I chose the path I thought was the right way. That's what we're taught on a massive level. Go to school, get a degree, and go work for somebody. That is what, quote unquote, American dream, like that's what you do. And you'll make six figures and life will be great. And if you do that, more power to you and kudos to you, but it just wasn't. I mean, I'm working 60 hours a week, making $2,000 a month. I mean, that's pretty, with the business economics degree. So it's not like some random BS degree. So you kind of already heard the story about getting into the network marketing space. And I mean, I took it full force, man. I went ham with that. My first year, I made $36,000, and I started in April. So it was, April to December. I made $36K, and then my first full year, I made $82,000, and then my third year, which was my second full year, I made $124, and then it kept going up. And I mean, I got to making about $500K a year residual. Yeah, and I learned so many lessons. I had to rebuild my business multiple times. And it's funny because I would make the same mistakes thinking that, now because I have this group of people, it'll be different. But it always ended up the same. You take your foot off the gas, things are going to slow down. They're going to slow down. Like the people that got you where you're at are not going to get you to the next place that you're wanting to go. And so I will never, ever slow down again, ever. I just won't do it.
Yeah,
I'm addicted. I'm addicted to working. I mean, I wake up and I work until I go to sleep.
Yeah, I really liked your post you had recently that I saw where you were talking about, hey, we got job opportunities here. And you were like, one of two things is going to happen. You're either gonna,
the video I made?
Yeah. You're like, you're either gonna hate me or you're gonna be the most successful you've ever been, essentially. Like, cause I'm gonna push you.
I'm gonna bring greatness out of you, or you're gonna quit because you can't handle it. That's it. I'm gonna make you a winner. My main guy, he probably made $100,000 last month, or over the last 30 days. He's generated. I mean, we've, like I was saying, over the last couple of weeks, we've done $1 million-ish in sales. And my main guy, I mean, when he came to my company, he was broken. He didn't even have a place to live. He didn't have air conditioning in his truck. He's got a place now. He's got a truck. He's making good money in the bank, like total transformation. He doesn't drink anymore. He's in the gym now. And I tell people, like, we're not just a roofing company. We will change your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what true leadership does, man. You go in there and you really bring the best out of people.
That's it, and I'm passionate about it. And I got that from network marketing. Network marketing truly taught me to care for people, not just myself. And let me scoot this up. The biggest growth that I had, like what really catapulted me and got me past the hump to finally hit the top 1%, was focusing out and truly being mindful and wanting to help people achieve their goals. Like the Zig Ziglar quote, if you help enough people achieve their goals, you'll achieve your goals. But it's doing it for the right reasons. It's doing it because you truly want to help people, not what's in it for me. I'm going to help you because then I get. I got to a place and a space where I just love to help people and love to see people win. I know that I'm going to make my money. I mean, I make multiple six figures before I get out of bed residually. I mean, all my bills are paid for and I still have six figures left over, even without my roofing business. I don't even have to do it. But I just have so many goals. I have so much like goals, dreams, aspirations, and a massive vision for what I want to create that I tell people, you'll make more money with me because of the way that my compensation plan is set than you would owning your own company with less stress. I heard a cool statistic the other day. I met with one of the top solar guys just because, he's built a great business and I wanted to sit down with him. He had followed me. I didn't even know. It's just crazy what he's built with such like a small following too. It's unreal. And he told me, on average for Texas roofing companies, which Texas is the most competitive market in the country.
Yeah, there's roofers every week
There's
popping up.
8,000 roofing companies in DFW alone.
Yeah.
Just Dallas-Fort Worth. If a company hits $1 million, if they get there, On average, it takes 3 years. We hit it in our first 6 months outside of storm season. And then we just did it basically in the last 2 weeks.
That's impressive, man.
But it's because of how everything's set up, who I've been able to attract into the company. And man, we've had so many freaking adversity come our way. I mean, it's unbelievable. But it's just part of it, man. Whenever you have big goals and dreams, I mean, as they say, new levels, new devils. I mean, it's just, as Jim Rome would say, it's fascinating.
Well, and that too, man, your circles are changing constantly too in that. And like, you see the differences in some of your friends and family even, and just different people that it starts changing things. And those start becoming harder decisions.
Yeah, they do. And I'll tell you, my 2 best friends I've been friends with for many years. And they're both millionaires. One of them is a multi-millionaire. His car at his Miami place is a $1.3 million Senna. And so I sat back over the last couple of years and I've analyzed them. Like, I've really watched them and paid attention. Because success does leave clues. And again, I've made many mistakes. I've started to really build some things that were special, took my foot off the gas, and like I said before, the same result every time. Like, things would come down, right? So I'm like, these guys just do not quit. I mean, the most badass cars you could imagine, like 9-figure real estate portfolio kind of thing. I mean, just doing unbelievable stuff. And they wake up and they get to work like they have nothing. And I'm like, I get it now. Like, I truly get it. That's just what it takes. You got to be a little crazy, or a lot of crazy, I should say. And that's where I'm at. Like, I have, you got like the twitch in the eye because you don't sleep much because your mind's going this nonstop. It's hard to shut it off sometimes. And some people might say, I don't want that. That's not good. But like, I feed off of it. It gets me excited.
So are you a person that like journals, or what do you do to deal with that? Because like, I know for me personally, I used to get, especially at a younger age, before I learned the power of journaling, I would sit there and, you know, those plans, those dreams, those visions, you're thinking about all those things, and you're trying to figure out which way to go or what the next step is, and you're trying to shut that brain off just so you can sleep for a little while. What works for you? How have you managed
I used to journal. I don't really do it much. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know if there's a right or wrong to that. I guess it just depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
But my thing is just, I know where I'm going. I know what the goal is. And then it's just about reverse engineering it. What's cool is that solar guy that I talked to, he was like, with what you've already been able to accomplish, if you really dial in like this, you could have a 9-figure company in 3 years. He said maybe even less. And I mean, that just gave me chills through my whole body. So now I'm about to step it up even more. I'm hiring a content creator full time, and we're about to get crazy with it. Like, just about to go crazy. Yeah.
Dude, I love it. I love seeing these transitions and seeing these people do these things, because you're absolutely right. Like you said, you're watching these other friends of yours that are super successful, and instead of envy and jealousy and everything else, you're over there taking notes. Like, what can I pick up from them? What could I learn from them? And you're going in with that humble heart and that gratitude and like trying to figure those things out.
For sure. I mean, they both have supercars, and until I just bought mine a few weeks ago, before that, I had like a Tesla or a truck, or, you know, and I'm meeting them and we're all cruising around, and I'm the one not in the car. And there might have been a little like, that should be me. But then it's an ego check. Like, no, it shouldn't, because you haven't done what it takes. As a matter of fact, you did do what it takes, but you were shitty with money. Like, I made 7 figures over the, you know, X amount of years with the network marketing company, and I had tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. Like, you are a dumbass.
Yeah.
And I had to learn. Fortunately, I married the woman that I married because she checked my ass on that. It made me so mad. I told her, it's funny how we're all over the place, but things just like, they all come together.
Yeah.
We just got married in March. It was our 2-year anniversary, and we got married March 30th. And there are certain non-negotiables that everybody has. So for my non-negotiables, I'm not going to get into it, but I had non-negotiables based on previous relationships and previous work that I've done on myself that I didn't want that version of me to come out. And she would do those things. And so I was very vocal about it. Like, look, you got to stop doing this shit, because if you continue doing it, we're not going to work out. And she handled it. She's probably slipped up once in the last year, and she'll catch herself. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe like twice, and she'll apologize immediately. Even though we're in an argument, she's pissed off. She catches herself, and it's great. And I recognize that, and I applaud her and commend her for it. For me, her thing was, well, I'm not going to marry a man who is not financially responsible, who is not good with his money. I do not want to marry a man and have kids, bring kids into this world with somebody who cannot control his finances, who just spends all of it. You make great money, but you spend it all. Like, you can make $10 million and be broke, right? So I was like, shit. And it would piss me off. And she's like, you still haven't shown me your finances. You still haven't shown me your finances. And I would be like, oh, I will. So then it got to the point where she got to see my credit card statements every week. Every week I showed her my credit card statements, but I paid them off completely. It was like $85,000 to $90,000 in credit card debt. 3 months, done, zeroed out, zero. And it's like last month, I mean, I'm paying multiple 6 figures on my business card, paid in full, zeroed out. And it's just like, thank God I married a woman like that. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have the McLaren right now. I would have probably bought a bust down Cuban. I would have all my credit card debt and no McLaren, right? So getting somebody like, and that's another thing about the drift. If you continuously drift, the people that come into your life are not the ones that are aligned with your true path, because you're on the drift path. So the women that you attract, the friends that you attract, it's not truly aligned with where you're wanting to go and the goals that you have, right? It's all the fakes. It's all the fakeness. It's the life you think that you want, but you know it's not. It's the quote unquote social media life versus real life. You know, so many people have like a social media life and they act like everything is great, but behind closed doors, it's not. When you're living right and you're doing things right, you'll attract the right people into your life. And so I hang out with very few people. Of course, my wife is just my rock and my everything. And she'll say the same about me. And that's why we just work so well together. She inspires me and I inspire her. And my 2 very close friends, going back to that, man, it would eat me alive. But I knew that if I had the plan and I stuck to the plan and I didn't drift and I was good with my money and I kept fucking going every single day, that I would get there too. And I did. And we're not stopping. We're going to keep going.
That's awesome, man. Like, and I've got to watch you. I wish I've got to see more of this full broad spectrum of a picture here. But I mean, like, just the last 2 years, the amount of changes I've seen.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Has been huge.
And I'll give credit where credit's due. Ed Milet talks about this a lot. Like, people, you're not that far away from the life that you want. Dude, in 8 months, I paid off all my credit card debt. I got married. I got my new truck. Badass Dodge Ram, 2500 diesel limited. It's awesome. McLaren, making 6 figures a month. I mean, like, we'll call it in a year, because July I'll have my company in a year. Like, I bought the Ram like 8 months ago or so, right? But yeah, we'll call it July of last year. So we're coming, 10 and a half months. Like, look what's been created. engaged because I got engaged. I started my company from nothing. There was zero. And I mean, it's just unbelievable when you truly put your head down and, man, you just focus and go all in. You wake up with that passion, that desire to win and help other people along the way. Man, you're just freaking unstoppable.
So where did you choose to go into roofing?
So, shout out to my boy Seth Daughtry. That dude. Okay, so let's light this bad boy up.
Yeah, so those of you that always want to know what we're smoking, what we're drinking, we're rocking an old fashioned over here from ICC.
And a good old Atabey.
He's doing the Atabey Black Ritos. I was smoking the Davidoff After Hours.
Davidoff's my other one. I love it.
Davidoff's a good one. And then I'm about to light up Padron Series 1926 Series E. So
nice.
That's what we're rocking today.
What was the question? Sorry, ask me again.
What made you go roofing?
Oh, yeah. So the company, the network marketing company, shifted a little bit, and I wanted to shift as well. We'll just leave it at that. So I'm getting pulled in multiple directions. One of my best friends, the one that just bought that $1.3 million McLaren, the Senna, he's been telling me to get into roofing for years. He's like, dude, you need to be in something with way higher checks, right? Way higher ticket. He's like, you're great at building teams, you're great at leadership, you're great at scaling, you're great at sales. You do something like that. So then I start having conversations now that I'm looking to do other things. Roofing has been talked about. I've had people hit me up to join them with solar. Roofing as well. One of the top companies, I talked to them. Insurance, and not to toot my own horn, but I'm like, whatever I do, I'm going to be successful at. Because network marketing has set me up like all of the last X amount of years, 10, at that point, was it like 11 years? I was like, I'll be successful with whatever I do. Just what will I commit to long term? Because I don't want to be in and out. Like, I want to commit and go for it and scale. So December of 2023, my buddy Seth hit me up about starting a roofing company. So he already had a roofing company in Oklahoma, but his partner in Oklahoma like didn't really have a vision of scaling. And so he always wanted to stay in Oklahoma. So Seth hit me up to expand to Texas, but it was going to be him and I start the company in Texas. Like we would be 50-50 partners. So we did. And he has his version and I have my version, but agreement, it just didn't work out. And he and I are still very close. Yesterday we talked for like an hour. We bounce ideas off each other all the time. We're sending hail maps to each other, talking about what's working, what's not, recruiting, sales, all different aspects of the industry. Again, we're very close friends. It made more sense for us to part ways. So we had that from January till the end of June. But I tell him, like, dude, that phone call and that decision for us to do that, man, it shifted my life like crazy. So thank you. And yeah, man, that is what got me in, because I had just talked to my buddy not too long before that about the roofing thing. And then Seth called me to partner. I was like, that's it. God's talking to me. So I went ahead and we got going. And yeah, I mean, it was great. We did well. We crushed it. And I learned a lot. He taught me the game and started my own company in July. In July, my first month, I made like $56,000. It's just crazy, man. But I'm an animal. Like, I'll freaking go work. I don't care. I'll knock doors. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. Like, and I love saying this, you got to do the shitty to get the pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Yeah.
got to start at the bottom. You can't be too big to do any one part of it.
My first door knock when he and I had our company was in a storm had just hit in Little Elm. Well, it wasn't technically a door knock because he was outside, but I had just got out of my truck and I went and talked to him because he was taking the trash out. He said he He said he already had a roofer. Then we start to talk more. Like, oh, great, that's awesome. Then we start to talk more, conversate. Then to come to find out he had just met the guy at a bar the other night. You know, so there's zero relationship there. Anyway, I got the deal. I made like $13K on that house, but when I was on his roof, his neighbor across the street came outside. So I talked to his neighbor across the street and the wife, because they came outside together, did the inspection there, signed him. This guy, it's funny because he just got laid off from his job, or he got fired because they did away with his division. Mm-hmm. He hit me up. He's going to start selling for me. He hit me up to be a sales guy at my company. It's pretty funny. But yeah, man, I'll do whatever it takes. I don't care.
I mean, I think that's the mentality you have to have. Like, no part of the doing can be above you.
That's it.
Especially when you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to.
I'll do it all,
something.
man. I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah. Can you take us back, man? Like, take us back to that Easter, man, because I think that's a important change for you. And like, tell us a little bit about what happened and what did change for you.
Yeah.
Because not many people get that second chance.
No. So Easter Sunday, April 4th, 2021. Living in Austin, buddy of mine had hit me up to go work out. So drive to go to the gym, work out, end up playing basketball. I was mid 240s at the time, and I'm huffing and puffing, can barely catch my breath, but I'm thinking it's because I'm out of shape. I wasn't doing cardio and I was putting weight on, so I mean it would make sense that I was out of shape. Then whenever we get done playing, we go to the bleachers. I'm talking to my friends and girl I was with at the time. We're all hanging out. And I noticed that my heart rate's not coming down. I mean, after 10, 15 minutes, everything levels out and you're normal again. So
right.
you catch your breath, heart rate comes down. So heart rate wasn't coming down. We end up leaving, walk out the door, start getting a headache. Chest is starting to hurt a little bit. Arms going, I'm getting all the signs of a heart attack, but I'm not thinking at that time that I'm having a heart attack. And get in the car, and I've had some pinched nerve stuff, so sometimes my arm will go numb, and I'm like trying to adjust while I'm driving. Like maybe if I go like this, it'll unpinch the nerve so I won't have the numbing anymore, but nothing's working. And I looked at the person I'm with in the car, and I'm like, something's not right. And she said, does it feel like when you had your first heart attack? Because I had a mild heart attack before. And I was like, no. And then I thought about it. I was like, actually, yeah, it does. And I was just like, something's not right. I want to go to the ER. And she's like, let's go. And because it was Easter, there were no cars on the road. Thank God, because we probably wouldn't be here based on what they told me afterwards. But I went on my maps and I typed in, like urgent care. Fortunately, and I always tell all the listeners, viewers, this is something I did not know, and it was by fate. It was a God thing, we'll say. If you're having a heart attack, you have to go to an ER urgent care. If you go to a regular urgent care, they cannot help you. They cannot treat a heart attack. They will either call the ambulance to come get you, or they will send you to a different place. Fortunately, the one that I chose was an ER urgent care. So I walk in, they're like, sir, how can we help you? And I got there in like 5 minutes. Sir, how can we help you? I said, man, I'm pretty sure I'm having a heart attack. And the guy was like, can I see some ID? And in my mind, I'm like, did you hear what I just said? I'm having a heart attack. I'm like, get me to the back now and start treating me. And I didn't have my ID on me. I left my wallet in the car. So, mind you, I'm having a severe heart attack. So I had to go back out to the car, get my wallet, come in, give them my ID, and then they rushed me to the back. They hooked me up to the EKG, the doctor did, it reads your heart, what's going on. And he was just like, and I'll never forget the look on his face when he got the reading. And he was like, sir, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're suffering a severe heart attack right now. And in my mind, doctors exaggerate. I've already had a heart attack. I'll be out of here in no time. As a matter of fact, I even texted my mom when they laid me down on the bed. I texted my mom. I said, Mom, I'm having a massive heart attack right now, and I put my phone down. And looking back, and I lost my little brother to an OD, so I'm her only child. And I mean, just to think what she must have been, like what must have been going through her mind reading that. And then I put my phone away, so then she can't get a hold of me. But yeah, she found where I was and came up there, and she was pretty calm from what I hear. But yeah, so they gave me to the bed, they lay me down, they had me chewing a bunch of different things and swallowing this, chew that, and I would say pretty much every single person in that clinic was in my room probably. And I just remember laying there and feeling my breath just lessening and lessening, like my ability to breathe. And I just remember, and I'm telling him like, okay, the pain is back. Okay, I can breathe well. The pain's going away. Like I'm communicating with the nurse how I'm feeling and what's going on. And I'll just never forget. I'm like, yo, I feel like I can barely breathe. Y'all got to do something. Please help me. God, please help me. And then I was out. I died on the table. And all I remember, people always ask, do you see anything?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I probably could have made some bullshit story up and been on Steve Harvey and Oprah and all the shows. But no, I did not see anything. And I took that as I didn't have a good enough relationship with God. And so my faith has completely shifted. So that's one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for out of the experience. But I just remember hearing Jason. So like I'm laying there on the bed, or the whatever it is that they have you lay on. I don't know what you call it a bed. And I just remember hearing my name. And I can't open my eyes, I can't move my body. I'm like, please let me be in heaven. I don't know what's taking place. And then I'm able to open my eyes and I hear, welcome back, sir. She just saved your life. And so I turned my head to the right and I'm like, what? And the guy that was to the right of me was like, she just saved your life. And I'm just kind of like dumbfounded. I was just out. I mean, I had my heart stopped, no blood flow, nothing. So I'm just kind of like, what? You just saved my life? Huh? Thank you. Like, I was kind of like in a weird state at that point. I do remember there were tons of paramedics there, and they once I came to, they put me on the stretcher, rushed me into the ambulance, and they got me to the hospital fast. And then they rushed me in for emergency surgery in the cath lab, and they put another stent in. So it was crazy. And the first day that I was in ICU after the surgery, I never really understood like how beautiful trees were. You have a whole different outlook and appreciation for life and nature. I mean, it really is. There's like a divine connection with sunlight, a blue sky, tree, like green trees. It's just bird. I mean, it's weird. But yeah, I mean, I'll never look at the world the same after having an experience like that. And I was fighting so bad going to sleep that when I was in ICU, I remember I was so tired, I was exhausted, and I just wouldn't allow myself to sleep. And I'll never forget, they told me, they were like, sir, you can go to sleep. We're watching you. Because the last time I had closed my eyes, I died. So I'm like, I can't go to sleep. But they're like, hey, you're hooked up to all this stuff. Like, we're monitoring you like you've never been monitored before. If anything happens, we're on it. Go to sleep. So, yeah. So I went to sleep. And third day, so on the third day, they transferred me out of ICU. They put me into a regular room, and they had a lady come bring this big ass machine to do some testing on my heart. And depending on what that was, depended on whether I was able to go home or not. And so, man, our minds want to go negative so fast. And I would just reroute the thoughts. Like, everything is great. Everything is great. My heart is powerful. My heart is powerful. And no damage to my heart, pump function normal. As if nothing happened. I was released from the hospital on the third day.
Wow.
Died on Easter, released on the third day. Pretty, yeah. Symbolism is pretty crazy.
Whew, man, that hits home close to me because I lost my dad at 24 to his second heart attack when he had his best day and was supposed to get a pacemaker put in that would have
Sorry to hear that.
fixed everything. Yeah, man. So that's actually when I was approaching 40 what scared the shit out of me and got me to start getting my shit back in line. And then COVID happened, and I slipped for a little while. And then these last 2 years has been that journey of getting back to being good. So, dude, that's powerful, man. Like, good for you, man. Like, glad you got that second chance, man. We're here getting to have this conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm a nutcase now. Like, I do 2 stress tests a year. I got my blood work done every 3 months. I'm over the top with it.
I'm the same way, man. I see my heart doctor once a year. I get my blood work every 3-4 months. Yeah, same.
If I feel anything weird, like, and it sucks, because I'll hit a beast chest workout. And then the next day, like, a little part of my chest will hurt. I'm like, shit, you know? And I'm like, thinking, I'm like, is it my chest? Is it my heart? It's, yeah. But I just had a stress test done a week and a half ago. I do a nuclear stress test. So they do imaging of your heart. They do the stress test, and then immediately they lay you back down, and they do the stress test, or sorry, they do the ultrasound again when your heart is just like under major stress.
Yeah.
And everything was good. I mean, they can see that I've had a heart attack, but they're like, 0 changes, keep doing what you're doing. And it was like, man, thank you, God. And whenever people hear this story, they're always like, man, how old were you? How old are you? I'm so sorry to hear that happened to you. And I'm like, man, don't be sorry. It is the best thing that ever happened to me because I barely ever drink anymore. I mean, before I would go out and I would get drunk. Now I might have an old fashioned. I might have a glass of wine with dinner, but I'm not out like getting drunk. I don't do it. You know, like we were in Padre. I wasn't drunk in Tulum. I just went to Padre for a wedding. I think I had 2 drinks there total. But we were in Tulum a couple months ago. I'll have a couple of pina coladas during the day and like a drink at night. I wasn't drunk one time. I mean, back in the day, I would be wasted. I would rather go to sleep early, wake up, and go hit the gym and feel great, have a good breakfast, and like just enjoy the sunrise. It's funny how things change.
Yeah, man. You know, I had a very similar thing happen at 40, right before COVID, where I was training. I'd finally gotten back in shape. Me and Naz were training.
Naz is such a beast.
Dude, he is a beast.
He's a badass,
yeah, absolutely. And him and I were training, and we were doing back and shoulders. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I, like, severely strained my lats. And then I woke up the next day and I felt tight, but I didn't think anything was really wrong, right? So then that next day we went in and I hit chest. And like halfway through that chest workout, man, like I was hitting failure at levels I hadn't hit before. Everything fucking hurt.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, something's not right. He's like, well, just take it easy.
Some would think it's being 40.
Do some light cardio, you know. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And I'll never forget, man, the next day I woke up in the morning, and when I went to get out of bed, you know, like the little points you hit, like getting up, every point where I hit a new point took my breath away.
Damn, that's not good.
And it was pulling me from both sides, like my back and my chest. And all I could think about was when my dad had his first heart attack, and that's how he described his heart attack. Well, I got up, took a shower, ended up driving myself to work. And by the time I'm at work, after sitting in the truck driving, 20 minutes to the office and stuff, man, I can't do it. Like I'm starting to have a panic attack almost. And like, it's taking my breath away. And I'm like, I got to go take myself to the hospital.
100%.
So my dumb ass gets in my car and starts driving myself to the hospital, which is like still 15 minutes away. And on the way, I called my wife, who now is really freaking out.
Yeah.
And now I start freaking out. So now I'm having a panic attack, full blown, on top of what I didn't know was or wasn't a heart attack. Finally got there, and obviously, like, my wife calls my mom on the way, my mom and everybody showing up in the ER as we're going in there, which that makes me freak out. I can see the look on my mom's face.
They're terrified.
Like, when her husband died of a heart attack, you know, and then here's her firstborn son laying in here, all hooked up. Everything's through the roof, you know, and like, luckily everything came out clean. I had like grade 4 strain on my lats. I had like strained my diaphragm. I had like,
so your body
intercostals were all wrecked. So
yeah.
my body was just squeezing me. But that's how a lot of people would describe a heart attack to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, man,
crazy. That's good.
Dude, that's wild.
I always tell people, like, if you think something's up, just go in, just go. Debbie, the lady that saved my life, when I was out, when I coded, it's funny, my book's called The Code of Behavior, and I coded, and I didn't even know, like when I named it The Code of Behavior, I didn't even know that that's what they called it, that you coded, like when your heart stops, you have no pulse, it's like you coded. She told me it was like 60 seconds. Like a 60-second difference, I wouldn't have made it. And what's crazy about Debbie is she doesn't even normally work at the place that she was at that day. She's there like a couple times a month. She's normally at the ER at the hospital, and she specializes in heart attacks.
That's wild.
Yeah, man. And she was there that day.
Sometimes there's divine intervention.
It was too perfect not to be.
Yeah. So, what did your habits and daily routine look like before that experience to now? Like, is there anything that like you used to do that you don't do anymore, or that you do now? Because like, and maybe it's not even back to 2021. You know, just in the last 2 years, based on what I've seen and how you've grown and catapulted all these things and these businesses you're involved in, has there been any like key things that were like maybe little tweaks or things you did that were habits or changes you made in your daily routine?
Like true consistency and just not deviating, not drifting, doing the things that I know to do, and no exceptions. Like, I mean, there's 0 drugs. I slipped up 2 other times, but next month, June, will be 4 years since I've touched drugs. People, they would always ask, how is it you had so many heart attacks? Like, or how'd you have the heart attacks and have something like that happen to you when you're so young and like you look like you're so healthy and in shape? I got very addicted to drugs. I mean, I was doing cocaine at one point, like every day.
Gotcha.
Every day, like a lot. Yeah, it was, looking back, I'm very fortunate to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I cut all that out. I don't drink a lot. I'm very mindful of who I hang out with. I'm focused and dialed in. I do a lot of sauna. Like, I love Hot Works, and I'll also hit the sauna at the gym. But I would say it's like I would do those things, but not extremely consistent forever. Like, this is just my new way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you do cold plunge?
I can't.
Oh, you can't?
If you've ever had a heart attack, you can't do cold plunge. You can't even do cryo, because your body can have a heart attack from that.
From pulling all the blood.
Yeah, like whenever you go to do cryo, they'll ask on the form, have you ever had a heart attack or a stroke?
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'll do freezing cold showers.
Yeah.
Remember, I did the Live Hard program.
Yeah.
The full thing. So, yeah, please. Phase 1, you got to do the 5-minute cold shower. And I mean, I would like really freaking test myself. I'd make that damn thing cold.
Yeah, the cold plunge of lifetime has been an experience for me. Like,
I could only imagine.
Cool.
But yeah, I really like you. If you've had a heart attack, you can't do them.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. What was maybe something along the way that you thought was like a major roadblock that ended up being like a huge stepping stone for you?
Something that was a roadblock that ended up being a stepping stone?
Yeah.
Or the roadblock that I changed and then life
Let's go
changed?
with both.
As far as a roadblock that ended up being a stepping stone, I would need an example of what that looks like.
Like maybe something that like, man, when you first approach this in business that like, you're like, man, there's just no way I'm ever going to be able to do that. Or like, it just seems so far out of reach that you see it maybe even as a temporary roadblock. But then once you mastered that or figured out how to do that, that was something that changed for you.
I would say learning how to deal with people, because people are so frustrating or fascinating. It just depends on how you look at it. It's like you can get through to most people. You just have to find a commonality, and you have to frame things in a certain way that makes them say, aha, or be aligned and want to do business with you, or want to be around you, or will take the advice from you. It'll have them be not just reprogrammed per se, but be open to the reprogram. Because people are so fixated on their ideas, it's like that they're right and that their way is the highway. Like, for instance, network marketing, pyramid scheme. I mean, that is like what everybody thinks and says about network marketing. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme. I can't tell you how many people have said that.
Yep.
I've said it. I used to think about that. But all business is a pyramid. I mean, like Walmart's a pyramid. Coca-Cola's a pyramid. Now there are companies in the industry, in the MLM space, that are not legit and they're scams. And they are, like, if you look at, there's a definition of a pyramid scheme. So the network marketing company that I was affiliated with, we do not make money when we sign somebody up. We only make money when products are sold in the marketplace, just like any other business. Fortunately with this, you're paid like if you got somebody into the business, if they purchase products, you're compensated on it. If they bring in somebody into the business and they're purchasing products or selling products, you're compensated. Whether you ever met the other person or not. Like, you can go, like, I got you and you got 10 people that got 10 people that got 10 people. I can never meet anybody beyond you, and I'm compensated on all of those people. It's like when you truly understand what that looks like and the power of that, oh my God. Like, that's how you make money while you sleep. I still make multiple six figures before I get out of bed again, and I haven't worked that business in 3 years.
Yeah.
Because of the power of network marketing. A legit one. I mean, we've been around, this year is 45 years, like, in over 90 countries. I mean, it's multiple billion-dollar company. So I would say that it was overcoming, dealing with people, learning how to, learning all the different personality traits and like the different types of people and how to effectively communicate with them and work with them.
Okay, I got
right?
you.
And then on the other side, I had a problem with women. Like, I had a hard time staying focused. I would spend so much time swiping and going out and chasing women that it was a problem. I mean, it just... And then it's like, you get a...
Yeah, you were. Yeah, please.
Thank you, sir. You get a good one that wants to grow with you. I mean, my wife makes $250 to $500 a year. She doesn't need me. She's a beast on her own, and together we're great. We're even better.
Right on, man.
So, but
awesome.
Yeah, man, I chased women for so long, and my main mentors would always tell me, "Stop, put your blinders on, and just focus." But we all have that one thing or two things that it's the hardest for us to let go. But if you can channel your energy properly and let that go, you'll have the biggest growth being able to put that away. Like, put it in your past, don't come back to it, and let it not be a part of you anymore.
Would you say that, does your roadblock example you gave, does that also kind of fall in line with something that like you weren't good at, that once you became really good at, like that ended up being like almost like a superpower? Because I had a conversation.
It is a superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah, my intensity and my ability to succeed with where I channel my energy, it is a superpower. Because I'm a fucking beast. And I say that humbly, but just looking at my track record, when I go all in on something, I will succeed in it. But it's like, where are you putting that energy? On my TEDx talk, I said, I was so disciplined in the wrong things that it killed me. All the cocaine and the steroids and all the shit that I did in my previous past, that is what led me to having the heart stuff, which led me to die. But you don't get better than that. Like, I was so good at it that it led me to the ultimate bad, like to the negative. So channel that energy into positive. Like, what can you accomplish from that kind of energy? Like when I was all in on the network marketing, bro, I hit the top 1% in 6 years. The top 1% of the top 1% in 8 years. People would be like, oh, well, you probably got in the company when it first started. Like, no. At the time I was in for 6 years, the company had been around for like 40 years. I just went all in. And when I dial in, I make it happen. And it's just like same with the roofing company. I freaking dialed in. I learned it. Man, I didn't know anything about it. But I knew how to grow a business, how to lead people, how to get people that are better than me, how to network and meet people. Like, man, I had people working for me that, and I still do, that know way more about roofing than I'll call them and ask them questions about roofing. But when it comes to handling finances, because, I mean, you got a lot of money coming in and out. I don't miss paying people. I pay my crews immediately. When job's done, I have all my pictures. They're paid immediately. It's Friday. It's time for people to get paid on their jobs. They're paid immediately. There's no bullshit. So many companies don't do that. I've learned I'm good with my money now because of because of my past. I'm very diligent about having a good bankroll and being smart with my money, about leading people, about scaling. I get around people that know more than I do. I constantly read. I constantly listen to podcasts with people that have built massive companies and businesses, continuing to master my craft. I'll show up to jobs. I'll get on roofs while crews are doing jobs. I'll be asking the crew leaders, like, explain this, explain that. So, like, I'm learning about roofing. I didn't know anything about roofing, but I know how to sell. I know how to lead. I know how to recruit. And I know how to bring greatness out of people if they're willing to do it. Because some people, they're scared to be great because they know what comes with it, or they don't want to know what comes with it. But like,
or that cost is too high.
That cost is too high. Yeah. And people don't want to fail. People are afraid of failure, but you got to fail to succeed. Period, end of story. And then, of course, it's like, well, are you really failing? No, you're not. But it's like, you attempted this and it didn't work out, right? So is it a failure, or is it, I learned how not to do something?
Is it a lesson?
Exactly. So technically it's not failing, but you failed on that attempt, but you keep going, so it's a lesson. I look at it as growth opportunities. Okay, this didn't work out. What did I do well here, and why didn't it work out? Okay, this is why it didn't work out. So now, okay, I did this well, but it still didn't work out. So now I understand the piece of why it didn't work out. So now I'll adjust moving forward. And then you just keep growing.
Hell yeah. How do you motivate yourself in the dog days? I mean, I know you have all the discipline stuff, and I know it hasn't always been there, but like over the years, like, I mean, because we all have those days. And I mean, I tell a lot of people this now.
You have that more than you don't.
Yeah, like where you don't feel like going to the gym, or you don't feel like
because that's motivation and inspiration.
Yeah.
That's emotion.
Yeah.
That's I don't feel like it, or I do feel like it. There's no, like, I don't feel like eating fucking ground turkey and avocado. I'd rather have a damn pizza, burger, and fries. But I'm focused on the goals and what I want to accomplish. Like, this choice will get me where? If I sit around and do nothing, where will I be? I mean, I wrote the book on it, The Code of Behavior. I mean, where I'm at today is a direct result of the things I did over the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 3 years. Like, it all leads up. So where do I want to be in 6 months? Where do I want to be in a year? Where do I want to be in 2 years? What I do today will dictate where I end up.
I think that's one of the things you're really great at, is the whole reverse engineering aspect of it. And did you just I mean, like, was that something that's taught to you by your family? That's something you came across? Like,
no, mentors, bro.
Mentors.
No.
Who's maybe been like some of the biggest mentors for you? Like, where did
They've
this
changed.
Okay.
Yeah. So first it started with my man Tim. He's the one that got me into the business. Super successful in the network marketing company, still makes 6 figures a month. And I mean, he has multiple companies that he's probably 8 figures in one and multiple 7 figures in another. We don't talk like we used to, but whenever we do talk, it's like we didn't skip a beat. I mean, he's like my brother. And then my main mentor for many, many years, Dan Waldron, he ended up getting cancer, stage 4, and it was a 7-month fight, and he passed away last year.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yep, rest in peace. And man, he was in his early 60s, looked amazing, all the money in the world. The guy lived his life for 25, 30 years, just traveling the world helping people. And boom, cancer and gone. It's just, it's interesting. Sometimes you question God.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, but he served his purpose here, and now it's on to the next to be with his parents in heaven. But then I had another one who I still talk to and still helps me with things, my man Garrett Jones, who is doing amazing things in this world still. I mean, that guy is an absolute monster. And yeah, I mean, I've had a few different mentors.
How have you gone about building those relationships with mentors? Because, you know, that's something we get asked all the time, and I love hearing each person's individual take on that.
Well, Tim was and still is directly paid from anything that I do in the network marketing business because he's my direct upline. So he's done very well from me and what I've built. So I mean, anytime I had a question, like he's there because he knows what comes from it. But that's not the only thing. And I will say your circle, because you know the people that I'm around now, I wasn't around them during my network marketing days. One of them was in prison, and the other one, he was just doing his own thing. And we would meet up and hang out, but I wasn't hanging around him a lot like I am today. But the people that I got around when I had nothing, I mean, I had a trash bag of clothes and lived in my buddy's living room May of 2013. And then I signed up 27 people in my first 30 days. I made $1,900 in my first full month, May. I made $1,900 working my business from the beach. But I was around people that believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And they truly wanted me to succeed. They truly poured into me. He was already a millionaire. So he didn't need me to build a business and to make money on me. He was already extremely successful. He truly believed in me. He's like, dude, if I can do this, you can do this. Like, you're a better speaker than me. You're a better this than me. Now, Tim is like, man, this guy is probably one of the biggest visionaries and has this thing about him that, I mean, like all of Oklahoma is under him. Like people just follow this guy. He is a monster, but he truly believes in me. And I got around those kinds of people that truly believed in me and wanted to see me succeed. And that was just such a game changer and a shift for me and for my life.
How important is, I know you've done a lot of mentoring programs and coaching programs and affiliate programs. How has that shaped you, and what value have you found in those? Because I know, for instance, you and I are both members of Apex with Ryan Stewman.
Yeah.
You know, that's another place we connect. But
right.
I know you go a lot further than that.
Yeah, Man, I really haven't gotten much, and you get what you put in.
Absolutely.
So Apex and Ryan is phenomenal. That guy is great. I will also say I feel like he's shifted a lot over the last year to 2 years. I don't know what it is, and I actually want to ask him. But I feel like he's just more cool, calm, and collected. And he dropped, and not that he had a crazy ego. I really don't know him that well.
Right.
But just looking from the outside in and just conversations that we have had and our interactions on social media, he just seems a little different.
Oh, he's definitely changed in the last
He is like, he's more pleasant to like be around and talk to.
Yeah, 'cause he rocks that RBF strong.
Yeah, he just wouldn't, not even that, he just wouldn't, like, you would say something to him, and he would be very short and keep it moving.
Yeah.
And now he'll, like, sit there for 5 minutes and talk to you. And he didn't used to do that, at least with me.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but something has shifted in him for the better.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. But I've been able to build some good relationships. I will say there's only like, you only need to hear stuff so many times. Like, it's a lot of it is regurgitated information, stuff that I already know. It's just about having the discipline to go do it. You have these people that just go to all these different events and they're a part of all these masterminds, and it's like, just go do the fucking work. Like, how is it that you've been a part of 6 different masterminds, you've been to 20 events over the last 30 years, and you make the exact same amount of money? Like, at some point,
It's mind-boggling.
you just got to go put in the action.
Yeah.
It's like the whole knowledge is power. No, it's not. Applied knowledge is power, because you can know all the stuff in the world, but if you don't apply what you know, nothing will change. Action changes things. You can know nothing and go out and bust your ass every single day to go sell stuff, and you'll do better than somebody who knows everything and doesn't do anything.
Absolutely.
So, man, I will, like, just network marketing, they were multimillionaires that poured into me. Yeah. And I mean, the masterminds are great. The masterminds was more about the connections.
Yeah.
It wasn't about learning certain things. It was about connect. And that was a game changer. That actually shifted things. God rest her soul, Jessie Lee, her and I became good friends because of Apex, because she spoke at an Apex event. We became friends on social media. Then we became better friends on social media, met in person, and then became pretty close.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, that's always been my outlook on that as well. Like, it's the networking for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily, I mean, at times it was to go and learn things, like, and there has been those things that I've specifically gone to do, just like the speaking, like I used to be terrified of public speaking, and to get over that, I found the right thing to go and be able to learn the art, practice it,
right,
and do that. But as far as a lot of these, like, that you just see popping up every single freaking day,
they're all over. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it is a lot of the regurgitated stuff. But again, you see these people that just fill notebooks and don't ever apply not one single idea.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, how are you still in the exact same place? It's just stupid. Yeah, it's dumb. But
how did you approach getting into the rooms that you wanted to be in? You hear that a lot too, of like, put yourself in the room that you don't feel like you should be in and grow that way, because that takes a certain person to do that, because you can't just
I'm one of them.
You can't go in with false intentions. You can't fake it till you make it necessarily in all those situations. So how do you advise young people, like guys you're mentoring and that you're bringing up, on stuff like that? Because we get asked that a lot.
Yeah, as long as you are willing to be a student, you're not full of shit, you're authentic, you don't put on a front, you're not fake, and you put in the work, people are willing to help and answer questions. But usually people will see through that shit. Like, I've been around some pretty big names, and it was intimidating. But now it's like, and I talk to you, we're not going to talk about the name or all of that, but like,
yeah.
I might, it's like pretty much 99%, I'll be on one of the biggest podcasts there is, and everybody knows who it is, pretty much.
Yeah.
And before I was like, oh my God, it's a dream. And he's like so cool. And he is so cool. But it's like, well, so am I. And we're no different. He's just put in the work a little bit longer and been able to achieve a little bit more. That's it. But I'm working towards the same goal, and I'm listening to the same info, and I'm doing what I need to do on a day-to-day basis to get where he is and beyond. Because hell, I could bust my ass for the next 3 to 5 years, sell my company, and be worth more than he is. You never fucking know. And now I take everything that people say with a grain of salt, because so many people are just full of it. They put up a big front and they end up being full of shit. And I just realized that we're human beings, and we can all lose everything at any moment, and we can gain it all in a matter of 2-3 years. You just never know. And so, yeah, it's a very good question, because again, man, when I've been around certain people and I was intimidated, like, I shouldn't be here, but you're there. Make the best of it. And actually, me being in some of those areas led me to getting my book deal, led me to being on the TEDx stage. So I always tell people, put yourself in a position to win. Get in the room. Do whatever it takes. Get in the room. If you have to pay, get in the room, and make sure you make the most of it. Make sure you network. Make sure you make the connections where it pays you tenfold over time. It might not be immediate, but over time it will. It can.
What's the biggest lesson you learned in the multi-level marketing that you use across the board now in your businesses? Because I think like that was really a catapult for you.
Focus out versus in.
Yeah.
How can I help you? Servant leadership, like Jesus Christ. Servant leadership, not making it about you. For me, it's not what's best for Jason. It's what's best for Summit Solutions Roofing and Construction. And when it comes to me making decisions with the company, I'll talk to my top guys. We'll have a call, and I'll say, hey, kind of back and forth on what I want to do here. What do y'all think? So like, they are enrolled in the conversation, and they help make certain decisions of how we proceed. And that's how you keep people around.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you challenge them and help them grow?
So that's the reverse engineer. What's your goals? Like, where do you want to be? What do you want to accomplish this year? How much do you want to make? How many deals are you going to sign? Yada, yada, yada. Well, really, yeah. It'll be like, how much are you wanting to make? What's the average per deal? And okay, now shit, hey, and I got on to one of my best guys. Like, hey, you said you want to fucking make this. You've only signed 3 deals this week. What are you doing? Like, I want 10 next week. No excuses. Go make it happen. And then it's like 15 or 20. So, but you can only you can do that with certain people.
Yeah, you can't.
I know who I can do that
like
with. Yeah, I know who I can do that with. And that's part of the network marketing. I know like the ruby, the sapphire, the emerald. Like you have certain personality types. And some people don't want to make the big money. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people, they make $100,000. Their life is perfect. Some people, they make 50 grand and their life is phenomenal. And they wake up and everything is peaceful. Man, that's the ultimate goal. I'd rather make 50 grand and have peace of mind than hate my life and want to commit, think about taking my life every day and I'm a billionaire. Yeah. I would rather have the 50,000 a year. But I don't think that way. I want to, I don't necessarily say I want to be a billionaire, but I mean, multiple 9 figures, billionaire would be great too, but not at the expense of my overall happiness and peace.
How have you managed to keep balancing that? Because that can be tough. I look back to the younger
chaos.
too.
I thrive in chaos. Like I have to have it. I was in Tulum a couple months ago, and I was just like,
that looks so badass.
I got to be working. We're going back next week.
Yeah,
with the same people. Yeah,
that you guys have made that a place that I want to go now because
I've seen all of
it. No.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Tulum and you got to go to Italy, which is the European trip I want to go on next.
Hold on, did I not tell you?
The Italy trip looked fucking amazing.
No, I haven't been to Italy.
Wasn't it Italy that you went to for your honeymoon, or didn't you just recently go to Italy?
I just booked a trip to Italy.
Okay.
A 13-day trip. It's our honeymoon in December because both of our industries slowed down.
So
booked the trip.
You booked it. You haven't done it yet.
Florence. So Rome, Florence, and one other spot. Yeah, we'll be there from December 26th to January 7th. Yeah, that's where she wanted to go. So
super jealous. I mean, obviously, I'm not a big fan of Rome or any of that. You know.
Yeah. Dude, I am so pumped to go to Rome.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's top of my list.
To go to the Colosseum. Oh, man, I can't wait.
That's epic.
And we're doing everything. I hired a travel agent. She's setting us up with all the stuff.
Yeah.
We put the down payment down the other day. Man, and I always tell people, like, when you have these companies and everything, even if you don't, learn the cards and the travel hacks. I mean, we're flying first class round trip on points. $0 out of pocket.
That's badass.
Fuck yeah.
That's real
Hell
badass.
Yeah.
So
I'm just grateful, man. Life is just, I used to get high on drugs. Now I get high on impact. And I love it. But yeah, I do thrive in chaos. And sometimes the shit does get stressful. But I would rather have that than be bored and do nothing. Because I know firsthand that when I have challenges, AKA growth opportunities, when those things come up, I know that, like, I'm about to hit the next level. Like, I make $100K this month and I overcome these different things and this with higher, like, next month's gonna be 150. You know, if you want to get to the next level, you got to keep overcoming. You have to keep, new problems have to arise, and you have to keep solving problems.
Yeah.
And you have to continue to be uncomfortable, because that's where growth happens. If you are comfortable every single day, then you're not trying new things, then you're not growing. Because with growth comes being uncomfortable. So, and that's why I love it. Because I know in my mind that with all of the commotion and the chaos, the next level is upon us. And as I'm reaching the next level, that means that I have other people in my company that are reaching new levels and that are going to be able to buy new things, to take care of their families. I know that I'm employing lots of crews out there that are doing jobs, and now they can pay for their families and they can send money home to their families and they can put food on the table. And like, it's more than just me. It's more than my car outside. Like, it's the domino effect.
Yeah.
It's all of it.
Well, yeah, and you see it across the board, man. Like, whether it's like, you could take it and we could simplify this down to like just starting at the gym and building yourself. And then, but you see it just across the board, like how it just
fires me up.
It translates through everything, whether it's the sales or the mentality or the attitude or the hate for boredom and constantly having to feel like you're moving. Like, dude, like COVID was one of the worst things in the world for me. Like, telling me that I had to like stay at home and be isolated.
Dude, I partied and
I thought I was
like,
gonna fucking lose my mind.
I lived in Nashville and they had bar. I mean, it was so horrible. Like, I partied so fucking hard during COVID. Like, I am very grateful that my life has gotten away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes finding the ways to redirect those things is the biggest hurdle.
The sun begins to rise at the darkest part of the night.
Absolutely, man. What are your thoughts on legacy now? I mean, like, and how are you looking at this as far as legacy and what you really want to do with all these things? Because I mean, you're now married. You know, you got the future ahead of you. You're looking at these things. You're growing the business. So, what does legacy mean to you, and what are you looking at with that now?
Well, I hustle for my last name, not my first. It's about that's everything. My wife and I were working on kids. We want 3 at least, and a lot of what I do is to be able to provide. Like, man, my life is amazing. I mean, I'm so happy, but you got to be happy where you are while you pursue all that you want. So, and I talk about this in my book, and I know there's other people that talk about it. A lot of people have talked about it. I don't know who the first person is that ever spoke on the topic.
Right.
But you cannot attach your happiness to the finish line. Like once I do this or I accomplish this, then I'll be happy, because that shit always moves. Like when you accomplish this, like there's gonna be something next.
That's why people retire and die.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't just end there. Like I just got that car. Well, fuck. In a year, I want to buy this next car. And so now I buy this car. It's like, well, it's not now I'm happy because I got that car. Because then guess what? I'm happy for a week and now I'm pissed off and depressed because I want the next car. Well, my best friend just bought this car. This car is a piece of shit. I want that car. My life sucks.
Yeah.
And people do that. They say comparison is the thief of joy. It just depends on how you're able to channel things. Because for me, like I can compare and get excited. Some people get down on themselves. I'm like, well, shit. He did that. I just did this in 8 months or 10 months, whatever, however you want to look at it. Okay, so over the next year, if I continue to do this and I get this many people and they're doing this, oh my gosh, oh yeah, baby. And then I get excited.
Yeah, it's the redirecting and the rechanneling that changes.
Yeah,
that
it's just all
game
about how you
for
look at
everybody.
things. It really is.
So were you always like the kid that, or the young adult growing up that always had... Did you always have the vision, or did you always just have these audacious goals?
I had the vision of getting a degree and being a great employee. That was my vision, because that's what I knew. I did have a vision of a big house and nice stuff because this high school I went to. I mean,
Plano West, yeah.
My friends' parents' houses were castles. Like their guest houses were as big as my house.
Yeah.
The student parking lot was nicer than the faculty parking lot. So I always, I saw it and I knew that was possible. But to me, I was going to get it a different, it was going to be getting a great corporate job and climbing up the corporate ladder. But you start to learn things as you get a little older and you get into that field.
Yeah.
And again, I want to reiterate, if you're in that world and your life is great, then awesome. More power to you. At the end of the day, you wake up, you love what you do. That is what truly matters.
Yeah, not everybody's cut for an entrepreneur.
You love yourself. No. People do not It's funny. I talked to this kid earlier, and he's like, man, I can't wait to start a company and chill. I said, look here. You start a company, you're working 4x what you're working now, dude. You're working from when you wake up to when you go to sleep if you want any chance of succeeding.
Yeah.
And I mean, after you've worked for many, many years and you have the right systems and processes in place and the right people in place, of course you can step away a little bit and do other things. But man, the first X amount of years is a grind.
How did you and your wife find a balance in this? Because that can really take a toll.
Balance. There's zero balance. I really don't even believe in balance. I'm just all in on it, whatever I do.
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah,
way.
there's just no
work-life balance.
My balance is 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, all in, all in, all in. Yeah.
Is she the same way? Is that why that works? Or
no, she just understands. She sees it.
She sees it.
She sees what I'm creating and what's already been built. And she's just like, I've never seen anything like that. And I mean, she does real estate. She's got clients that are worth multiple 8 figures and even 9 figures. She's got some heavy hitter clients. And she's like, I've never seen somebody be able to create what you've done in such a short amount of time. Keep going.
That's awesome, man.
But we also have trust. She never goes through my phone, but my phones are out. I don't give a shit. There's not anything weird going on. There's no I'm gone traveling, working, and you can't get a hold of me for hours. There's none of that. There's no shadiness. There's no doing stuff behind each other's backs. Zero. So it makes it easy.
Yeah.
We make things difficult. And that's part of drifting. That's part of doing shit you know not to do. And I used to be that way. And I told her, it led me to the same result every single time. Like, I would cheat, I would do these things, and, you know, we're looked at like, oh, you're the man because you got all these girls and stuff, but then you get caught, she leaves your ass, now you're depressed, you're crying, your business starts to decline, school, your grades start to decline. That's how it was for me. So I'm like, okay. And I didn't start with her. This was like including my last girlfriend before my wife. Like, I just finally said enough is enough. And I got the same result every single time. I was just going around, running around and cheating. So let's just not do that anymore and see what happens. And life's great.
Where did you come up with Tatted Press?
So, it's a great question. In the network marketing company I'm in, president's team is the top 1%. So I'm tatted a little bit. So Tatted Press. One of my best friends, my boy Brian, he's black dude. He's Black Press. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna be Tatted Press. So yeah, he thought it was funny. But that's where the idea came from of selecting my Instagram. He's Black Press, and then it kind of came to mind like Tatted Press.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your most significant tattoo?
That's an interesting one. So the guitar right here was my brother's dream guitar, and it has his initials right here with the dove and the butterfly. So it was like all done together. So that's probably like the most meaningful.
I mean, are you even out of space? Like,
I am ready to be out of space.
Yeah.
Like, when I see skin, it irritates me.
yeah, like I've been doing the
close.
laser. Have you ever had to do laser
No.
for any of them? Oh, dude, it's worse than the tat.
So I wanted to laser this whole arm because I did it years ago, and but my one of my tattoo artists was like, don't do it. Well, my main tattoo artist, he's like, dude, do not do it because of the way it's processed through your body.
Yeah.
It like goes through your liver, I think he said. He's
Yeah.
like, dude, it's so bad for your body. He's like, if you laser off little pieces, it's not that bad, but you don't want to do a whole sleeve.
Yeah.
He's like, man, just accept it and move
I
on.
just had shitty tribal across my
Yeah.
shoulder.
Get rid of his whole arm.
Yeah. That's a lot.
I know.
All right, you got to tell the story about the lady with the purse.
The what?
The lady with the purse.
The lady with the purse.
Yeah, I think it was at the airport when she sat down next to you and clutched your purse.
No, so it was a screenshot of.
It was a screenshot.
Yeah,
I
it was just a
remember.
meme.
Oh, okay.
No, it didn't actually happen.
Oh, I
I'm
thought
saying
this
it was-
actually happened.
No. No, it was just a meme. So I'm thinking it's
I was
funny.
dying laughing when I read that.
No, and that's why I had to post it.
Because it's funny too, because like you can
Yeah, they
literally
precede
watch
you.
people to just like totally freak out, like judging a book by the cover.
And I will tell you, so there's a lesson on this one. I recently tatted my throat, and I wanted my throat tatted for so long, but I was like, man.
That had to hurt so fucking bad.
Yeah. But I was thinking, like, what are people going to think about me? They're going to judge me. It might prevent me from being on podcasts or speaking. I've been on more significant podcasts since getting it done. I've created and done more business since getting it done. I've met more high-level, high-net-worth individuals since getting it done. I've had more people with higher net worths come talk to me because of my tattoos. Part of it being because of my throat, wanting to know about it and what it represents and stuff. So it's like, man, if you want to do something, just do it. Just be authentic to you. If somebody's going to judge, they're going to judge you regardless. It's like, look, who cares if you get a throat tattoo? I had my hands and my fingers done. Like, they're going to judge you. It's not going to take a throat tattoo. They're going to judge you because your knuckles are done. They're going to judge you because your ear is weird. If they're a judgmental person, they're just a judgmental person. They're going to find something to judge you on. So just do whatever makes you happy.
I like that. Because, yeah, it is. Like, there's so many stigmatisms around it. And, like, can you do this? Can you do that? Or you're going to have to wear long sleeves all the time. And
Yeah, it's
this
funny.
and that.
In college, I had a 3/4 because I was like, what if I can't get a job? Now I'm tatted like this, so I make sure I'm unemployable. I don't want to be able to be hired. It's funny how things shift.
Yeah, because I was like, when I was like doing my research, trying to think of other questions I wanted to ask you and stuff. Like, how old were you when you got your first tattoo?
23.
I was gonna say, because I got far enough back that I was seeing you with like no tattoos, and I was like, holy shit.
The artist was like, are you sure you want to do that for your first? I said yes. And I jumped in the pool too soon, took all the ink out, and had to have it redone. And the rib cage is not something you want to have to redo.
Yeah, no.
That hurt.
I wanted to start the back, and I'm still like
the back hurts, man. I had my whole back done. Yeah,
nervous about that. Yeah, because I have the whole back designed.
Yeah,
and it's like I know what I'm biting off and how many different hours of sessions that is.
It's
and
painful.
Like,
I'm doing up my head now.
Have you done the numbing cream ever?
Yeah, I have.
What'd you think of it? What was your experience like?
So I have numbing cream, and people, they have their opinions on it.
Absolutely.
But I have numbing cream where you can't feel anything.
Yeah. How long did it last?
3 to 4 hours, and then there's a spray that lasts the rest of your tattoo.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I did both my arms, my fingers, and my hands, no numbing cream. I did my whole chest, no numbing cream. I did my whole back, no numbing cream. I did half my legs, no numbing cream. I did back here, no numbing cream. So
did the numbing cream make you bleed more or get less effect out of your tattoo? Because like
no,
I know like Marcus Aurelius, we tried numbing cream when we did.
Yeah, that tattoo is sick. I was looking at it. Yeah.
And like I had to go back when we did the Spartan. Like I had to have him reshaded because like my skin just once it started wearing off, it wouldn't take more ink from.
It just depends on the skin.
Yeah.
It depends on the numbing cream. I have some really good numbing cream. The painless tattoo, they're great.
I have that literally at the house and gave it to my guy because he was like, "No, use my shit."
You haven't used that?
I haven't used it, no.
Dude. There's been one time.
It's the cream and the spray.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, I'll definitely make him try it next time, for sure. What Oh man, totally lost my train of thought there.
No worries, it's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, right. There's just so much to get into with you.
Yeah, and there's so many thoughts that come to mind. Sometimes like you start to go and it's like, wait, what was the actual question? But yeah.
Not just that, man. It's like you and I've had, especially at some events and stuff, like really got to get to know each other and like kind of chop it up here and there, and even times up here at the lounge.
Yeah.
Getting to talk and stuff, and it's just like, I know I could sit here and just talk to you for hours and we could talk business and we could go down a lot of different rabbit holes.
My evening is free, and yeah, we could. There's a lot of rabbit holes to go down.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. So, yeah, we're rocking and rolling.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Having been through as much as you have with the heart attack, rebuilding your career, the different businesses, what's one thing you wish you could tell your younger self about life and success?
That's a good question. What is one thing I wish I could tell my younger self about career and success?
Life and success.
Life and success. One thing I would tell my younger self. So, well, it's like there's a couple of things. I would have told myself to get into real estate. I mean, that's like, yeah. But about life and success, just like kind of a principle. Like a principle?
Yeah, maybe. If that's what comes to mind. But what shoes? Oh yeah. All right, I get it now. My wife just said I got out-shoed, so I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even see what he was wearing today. I mean, I got out-watched and shoed.
I just bought them. I hadn't bought myself shoes in a long time. I really don't buy myself a lot of nice things anymore. I'm just.
Well, you got a wife to buy nice things for now.
Dude.
Welcome in, brother.
Well, here's the thing. If I want, and this is about framing, And I did it with the car. It's a funny,
Hey, don't give all the secrets away
it's
here,
a
bro.
funny story. I mean, I can stop. Now you're going to do it. Your wife's going to be like, I know what you're doing here. And the answer is no.
She already knows.
Yeah. So I bought her a fucking badass purse and these damn charms that they're doing now. The chocolate bar that like clicks onto the purse, like another $800 for that. Anyway, she loved the purse. And by the way, she sends me deals, like, because she's in real estate for Roos. Like, I get deals from her all the time. And now, like, her brokerage uses me. So, I got to kick her back a little something.
Right.
But yeah, getting these shoes took, like, I bought her purse and then she can't say shit because right now we're going to be buying a pretty nice home. So we're putting a lot of money aside and just not spending a ton of money on stuff, right?
Right.
But every once in a while we like to. So, but yeah, the car, she was so against me getting the car. But I was like, look, me getting this car, she understands the principle of cars and coffee, new circles, new kind of conversations, new level of people, right? If I go to a cars and coffee meet and I meet a few people and they got $500,000 car, $1 million car, well, their house is probably pretty dope. And they might need a roof. So it's like, look, you know how good I am at networking. If I get a few roofs from this, it's going to pay the damn car. And she's like, I get it. But there was something that she really wanted. And it wasn't like, it wasn't a purchase and just like it ends there.
Okay.
She wanted to get a coaching group for something that nobody is really doing, that she would be very good at, and I believed in it.
Yeah.
And I have a connection with what she was wanting as far as like building out the course, getting all the content shot, like doing all of that. I have somebody that can do all of that for her at a, not cheap, but a pretty good deal still, because I've done work with him in the past. So I hit him up, I'm like, hey, how much will it be? He told me the price. So where we're sitting down at dinner, it was just before her birthday, and I was like, look, I know what I'm getting you for your birthday. I've already paid for it. And she's like, wait, what? So I told her, I was like, you know, we talked about you doing the course and getting all that to do the coaching for this. She's like, yeah. I was like, I paid for it. She's like, oh my God. She was so excited. And I was like, but you can't say shit about what I'm doing for me. She's like, are you getting the McLaren? And I was like, yes, I am. And she's like, okay, fine. And smiled. And I was like, it's okay. So it's like, if I want something, I got to get her something nice. But yeah, so that's how it goes with marriage.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Like, I got to find a car my wife actually wants now, because she keeps passing on the car that she wants. And
what's the car she wants?
Well, it's changed now. She used to want the Range Rover, but
my wife wants the G-Wagon.
But then we had one of my other business partners, he had one, and like,
oh, I can't get that then. He has one.
As soon as the warranty went up, man, the amount of problems he had with his.
You don't want a Range Rover. They have so many problems, especially without a warranty.
Yeah, like
my wife wanted the Defender.
Yeah.
I was like, don't get it. So she got the Porsche Cayenne. The Defenders, the Rovers, man.
Yeah.
But they're dope. They're nice.
Yeah.
I'm still coming back to this question, though. What is one thing I would tell my younger self about life or business?
Yeah.
It's a good question. And I get like over technical about things sometimes.
I like it, dude. I love seeing how your brain works when you're unraveling things.
Yeah.
This is why I like having these conversations too. You know, like these are so
the biggest thing that comes to mind is pretty much along the lines of like forget the university, forget that. Find a good mentor. That's really what it comes down to. Find a good mentor. Somebody that you respect on the level where you wouldn't want to let them down. Somebody who is a good man. He walks by faith. He's a God-fearing man. He is honorable with family. He's got good morals and principles, and is successful in business. Like, not somebody who is successful in business, but a shitty husband, or like you can see something's just not right.
Yeah.
somebody who is not a God-fearing man and maybe has some success in business. I would, and that was what Dan Waldron was.
Yeah.
He was that well-rounded man, an amazing husband, an amazing father. I mean, his wife still hasn't, like, she still grieves every single day. I mean, he was probably top 3 people that I've ever met in my life. And that I haven't met. Like, the guy was just unbelievable. He was he's somebody that I would strive to be.
Yeah.
As far as the success, who he was as a Christian, and a father, a mentor, and a husband.
Jason Redman was exactly that for me, and exactly
that's what I would say.
Why I chose him when I wanted to go do the speaking thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, I knew that, you know, because not to sound shitty, but like, the amount of money to go do his course was not, you know, it wasn't too little and it wasn't anything to scoff at, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be something that, like, when I got there, if it really pushed me or made me uncomfortable, that I would be like, not cool, I paid, I'm good, I'm not going to do that shit.
Right.
And being a former Navy SEAL and everything else he got there, I'm like, man, I can't ring the bell on this dude. Like, I can't. Like, there's no way. And, like, everything he stood for, everything he's done, everything he's gone through, I was like, there's just no way I could do that. And I was like, all right, that's why I'm picking him.
Yeah.
And you're saying, like, essentially the same thing about mentors. So that resonates. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, if you could focus on one thing for the next year, whether personal or professional, what is it going to be and why?
Sheesh. With the good questions.
I came prepared for you, bro.
Yeah, you did.
I knew what you were going to try.
But I like this. I've had people where, like, we're doing a podcast and, like, okay, here's the questions. I'm like, don't tell me the fucking questions.
No, that's the worst idea.
It's
Anybody
like,
that's podcasting, that is my one piece of advice. Do not ever fucking do that.
Don't go over shit.
No, because the first thing wrong with that is, if I gave you the list of questions, you're going to, like, premeditate, like, really think through this shit. You're going to come up with an answer. And then the minute you get off track, because we get deep on something, and then you realize in your head that you didn't say what you had rehearsed, you are fucked and there's no saving you.
It's garbage.
It's dumb. Bad idea. So that's my only podcasting advice tonight.
It was one thing for the rest of you.
If you had to focus on one thing, what is the one main thing you're going to focus on for the rest of the year to really, whether that's personally or professionally, and why?
Yeah, I would say,
like, what's taking you to the next thing goal-wise?
It's getting the people into the company. It's the recruiting aspect of getting people into the company. Yeah, and that, because that leads me to personal goals and business goals.
All right, so you got the supercar. You got the first one.
I got the first one.
Now that you have that, what's something else you've always wanted that hasn't happened yet?
Yeah, kids is my number one thing. That is, like, the one thing that I don't have that I want. Kids, man. Like, I'm ready for whatever God will allow us to have. And we'll do whatever it takes. And so I've already met with doctors and things are in place. But aside from that, man, I've always, like, been the get a high rise, rent. That's just always been my forte. And I love being high up. I love being in a dope building with a dope view, but a nice ass house. So we went house shopping last week. We met with some builders. We're gonna be getting a spot in the outskirts of Austin for now.
That was gonna be my next question. Whether you're gonna go DFW or Austin.
So it's cool because the dynamic that we have, she wants me to have a place in Dallas because she knows I prefer Dallas over Austin.
Yeah.
And my dad's here, my sister's here, and so I can get the high rise here, and then we can have a house there. So I get the best of both worlds.
All right.
But man, it's just like, she owns 2 properties. So whenever I'm in Austin, we're at her house. But yeah, man, I know how bad she wants like this kind of kitchen and this kind of closet, and we're pretty damn close to there. I mean, we're looking, and we're gonna pull the trigger on something probably within the next 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
It'll be like the Georgetown, Liberty Hill area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. And out there too, because we're looking at having kids, right? So
yeah, you want a little bit of land.
Well, that, but also my mom, my stepdad, my grandma are in Georgetown, and then her family's in Waco. So it's like
you're close to everybody.
Close to family. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Kids and getting a house.
Out of all these trials and tribulations that you've shared with us tonight, what's maybe one thing about yourself that you learned through those moments that you didn't know going in?
Out of all the trials and tribulations, what is one thing or the main thing that I've learned from myself going in?
Yeah, learn about yourself.
Learn about myself?
As you've gone through these trials and tribulations.
Man, did you ask ChatGPT for these fucking questions?
I asked for some.
What is one
Still
thing?
got to give it the right direction.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's nothing wrong with using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I mean, it knows more. I mean, you put all the information in the world that's out there, and it knows it.
Plus, it knows me now that I use it enough.
Right.
Which is a scary fucking thing to think about.
One thing. Ask one more time. One thing.
All right. Through the trials and tribulations that you've shared with us and these journeys you've gone in your life, what's one thing that stands out in your mind that you really learned about yourself in those trials and tribulations?
That I've always had everything that I need to accomplish everything that I want.
Doesn't get much better than that right there.
I just had to decide to step into my greatness and do what I know to do.
If you had to go with one habit or routine that's been the most impactful on your life, what would it be? And
Personal development every single day. Do not miss.
what does that look like for you?
That looks like reading a book. That looks like listening to an audio. I like reading better than listening to audio. There's something about finishing a book, and that's what I love about 75 Hard, because you have to read 10 pages of a self-help book. And I find myself, I won't just read 10. I'll read 15 or 20. Like, why stop at 10? I'm getting great information. I'm really involved in this book and learning and loving what I'm reading. It's like, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop and put on Netflix or stop and scroll. Or, like, let's keep reading and keep growing my mindset, because it's just going to lead to me being better. And so, and then again, when you finish that book, it's like, man, I finished. When you finish an audiobook, there's no sense of satisfaction like I just finished that.
I agree with you.
You just listen to it on your day to day.
But that's I save that for cardio.
Yeah, no, and I'll do it during cardio sometimes. I'll do it while driving. Although I'm more so a podcast. I listen to podcasts more now, and I'll put some audio books on sometimes. But sitting down and actually focusing and reading a book and then finishing it, there is a sense of like, man, I just finished that book.
All right, you gave us your favorite book. What are the next like top 3? Or maybe recent ones you've read that really like struck a chord and you were like, that was a badass.
Traction was great.
Traction is fucking
Buy
awesome.
Back Your Time was fucking flawless.
Dan Martell.
Yep. And those 2 books were just awesome. Because they were different than other books that I've read.
EOS, like, how much of that have you been applying?
I can get better.
Yeah,
I can definitely get better.
I want to fully involve that in everything I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a proven system. But those 2 books, again, there's a lot of regurgitated information.
Right.
Those 2 are very unique.
Yeah.
Which is why I was heavily in just I look forward to reading them every day.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what I read before those.
Do you read anything for fun?
No.
Are you all?
I do not read for fun.
I'm the same way.
No, fuck that.
Thank you.
I will say two of the, like, reading them back to back, the 10X Rule and Relentless, were just, those two books get me hyped. I actually like to listen to the 10X Rule because Grant Cardone, he gets me pumped up.
Yeah.
Listening to, like, his, because when you have the actual author do the audio, you get their passion behind the words. And I listen to it at 1.25 because I'll tend to talk a little bit faster too.
Yeah.
And you finish it faster. But it just, like, it reiterates the whole do more. Do, like, man, you can do more. Yeah, the 10X Rule and Relentless are two of my favorite books. Ed Milet's great. The Power of One More was great. There's just so many damn good books out there.
It's just such a common thread, man. I hope people pick up on this throughout my show with these great individuals I bring on here for you guys to hear from personally. There's not a single one of them that doesn't do shit like this.
You have to.
Like, that's what it's all about. You have to be growing. You have to be expanding. You have to be pushing yourself. What are some of the top podcasts you listen to? Because I know you're a podcast guy.
I listen to Andy Frisella's podcast every single day.
Andy Frisella's a badass.
Yes, he is. I listen to Bradley's podcast every day. And I listen to Patrick Bet-David.
All right.
I those three are pretty much on clockwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I throw
the main
Sean
three.
Ryan in because that's like I look at him as more of my news source.
Sean Ryan.
Sean Ryan, Navy SEAL.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to.
He's got a great podcast, man, but he brings on some of the like biggest world leaders and leaders, period.
Yeah, I need to.
And he,
incorporate that.
I didn't like, I wasn't in love with Sean Ryan early on, but Sean Ryan evolved, and as he's evolved, I really like the direction he's taken things, and you can see where he's found that in himself. You know what I mean? Like, I've watched him kind of grow into what he is now, and he's one of the top guys. I mean, he's right up there with Rogan and all the guys you just named. I was going to say,
Rogan is a good one, too. Just depending on the guest.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like...
Rogan's guest specific for me.
Yeah, very guest specific. Sometimes I'm really into it. Sometimes it's just not for me, but it'll be for the next listener, right? So,
yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
And he takes a lot of heat. But I do enjoy Andy Elliott's because he's good at sales and he's a good talker. People are very opinionated and they have their thoughts about him, but I think he's good at sales.
He's real good at sales, man, and there's a little bit of the Ryan Stewman of like fuck your excuses, and like he pushes people to really fucking be uncomfortable.
Yeah, he does.
And I kind of like that. I mean, like, I know that's not for everybody.
No, it's not. And again, he takes a lot of heat. And he's made mistakes in his past, and I have his number. I can text him whenever. He's always been cool with me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know him personally, but, you know, I'm also a big fan of Bedros Koulian.
Yeah,
Bedros.
I think he's out of Austin.
Yeah, he's out of Cali.
Cali? Okay.
Yeah, he's like San Diego area.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Bedros is one I really like. Allie Gilbert for men's health. Like, she's like the top leading expert in men's health right now. She's a badass. I've learned a shit ton from her and following her.
I'll have to get that one from you after.
Yeah.
I love listening to stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of ones that, like, man, just picking up pieces from them. I'll tell you the one book I did read recently that was a little more on the enjoyment side than, you know, just the trying to learn something. I'm fascinated with anything Navy SEALs, special warfare, anything like that. The Way of the Ronin, man. That dude is one of the most badass dudes.
I'll have to read it.
Would love to sit down and have a conversation with him sometime. But he's literally like got his own character in Call of Duty.
Oh,
like,
no
he was the
shit.
cover of Call of Duty, and I'm not even a gamer. But the Way of the Ronin, man, like that dude's story of, I want to say it was Vietnam, somewhere like that, that like he was literally a refugee, was left to die at sea, ends up making it to America.
I'm a nerd
and
for
like,
that kind of stuff
oh,
too.
dude, yeah, like it kills me. And then, you know, Memorial Day, I decided to watch a movie that, in remembrance of those people that have made that ultimate sacrifice. Have you seen Warfare yet?
No, I haven't seen that yet. I heard it's really good though.
It's intense, man. I don't know how some of my friends that actually were there and went through that were able to watch that and that it didn't really fuck them up, because, man, that was intense, man. Like, it's a great story and a terrible story all at the same time, man. And they leave nothing out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch it.
It's intense. So maybe through these things we just talk about, is there maybe one recommendation on a resource that you would recommend, whether that's book, podcast, or a course that really brought something to the forefront for you, that would be something like with your, you know, as you're hiring sales guys or any of these guys, is there one that you would say start here, or, you know, go this direction?
For a book?
It could be any of them, man. Like maybe whichever one you think is most impactful. Like maybe it's day one hire of, you've got a badass sales guy and you're like, hey man, like I want you to start here. Like go
Of
check
course,
us out.
in this moment, it's always like a blank, but one that came to my mind was the 4 agreements. That's because, like, one of them is don't take things personal. And with what I do, there's door knocking involved, and people can take things personal very easily. So that's a book that comes to mind because it's been a very impactful book for me. And I mean, dude, the 10X rule, it just is, because people don't understand the level of output it takes to like truly be successful. I mean, people will be like, oh, I worked for a couple hours today. It's like, you need to work for 10 hours today. Like, you need to go knock 150 doors, not 20. Like, it is such a grind to achieve what you want to achieve, especially when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
Like, if you're really good, you got a lot of experience, you might be able to go knock 20, 30 doors and close and talk to 5 or 6 people and close 2 or 3 because you're just that good. You've done it for so long. But, I mean, the amount of effort it takes to truly win, it's just like, people don't get it.
Yeah.
They just don't understand.
Well, and it's very easy to become complacent too for a lot of people that like they start making money that they've never made before in their life, and
The Richest
can be
Man
a
in Babylon.
complac-
That comes
That's
to
a
mind.
great book.
That's
a great book.
I will say, had I read that book beforehand, it would have saved me on a couple of bad investments.
That's
If I would have read and applied what I learned, because sometimes we overlook because we get emotional and we want to do something, and we don't just stick to like, okay, this is the code. We don't break the code. You know, like we don't deviate from this. If it violates this, or this, it's a no. And there were certain things that I invested in, and I did, and I trusted people. And it goes against what the Richest Man in Babylon says and discusses. So, I mean, that right there, when it comes to building wealth, is like, it's so on point.
Right on, man. All right, well, I want to be super respectful of your time because we could sit here and do this all fucking night. And if we have to, we'll get him back for a second show if that's what you guys want. So you guys just tell us what you want here. But this is my favorite part of the show. We have 2 little segments we like to do at the end of every show. So I'm going to start off with the first one. I know you don't have kids yet. I know that's in the plans. But looking ahead, and if you did have children or a child, what would be the one piece of advice you would want to leave them with?
Man, like doing what makes you happy is so key, and don't worry about what other people think as long as you're not harming anybody or yourself.
Right on. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's everything.
Yeah. And then that was the fun one, and I can't wait to see where you go with this one, because the show's called Common Sense, and people don't have much of that shit anymore.
It ain't so common.
And it's not so common. We like to call this segment, Give Us Your 2 Cents. And this can just be something you want to share with the listeners. It could be something that we didn't get to go as deep as you wanted to go on. Or it could just be Jason giving his 2 cents.
All right. Oh, this is just a random thing.
This is just you. Yeah. Your mic.
I mean, I think we covered, like, we went pretty deep on a lot of stuff, on things that I like to talk about. I will say, be careful on the social media thing and thinking that everybody just has this amazing, glorious life. And I bring that up because I recently saw something that, man, it brought tears to my eyes, because, I mean, I lost my little brother to the overdose on drugs, and you don't take drugs because your life is so happy and everything is so great. You get on drugs because you're masking something and things are not going well, or there's things that you're avoiding or that you feel guilt and shame on. But what came up was the people's last posts on social media before they took their lives. And every single one of them was happy and smiling, and like things looked great. And then there were a couple where it's like they would smile, and then they would have a face that, like, if you really, but you don't know to pay attention to that until after the fact. But when you go back and look and like really analyze, it's like, there was something wrong there, you know. And people get down on themselves and their own lives because they think like everybody else is just living this perfect life, and that everybody's just doing so great and their life sucks. And it's just not the case.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. I mean, you see it day in and day out. I mean, we lose too many first responders, too many vets. So many. I mean, everything.
And the racism shit. Like, I fucking can't stand that bullshit. Like, and I mean, I probably have more black friends than white friends, and I'm friends with fucking everybody. It's like, at the end of the day, you're either a good person or you're not a good person. And
right.
Like, nothing else matters.
You're a human being.
We're human beings. It's the human race. You are either a good person and you stand for good in the world, or you don't. And the media and like they put shit out to get people to hate each other and to get angry at one another. But when you open up your door and you go talk to your neighbor, we all want the same shit. We want peace, we want success, we want to feel love, we want to feel appreciated, and that's what we need to focus on. Like, there's this saying, united we stand, the United States of America, and divided we fall. And it's easier to control and have power over people when you have people fighting one another and angry and emotional against each other. But again, we're not that, like, we're all pretty damn similar. Just the pigment of the skin tends to be a little different. And that's awesome, because if we all looked the same, shit would be boring. If we all thought the same, shit would be boring. Like, if you're a Republican, have Democratic friends, it's okay. If you're a Democrat, have Republican friends, it's okay. You can, like, disagree on things and it be cool. It's all good.
Yeah.
I have friends that are in the middle. I have friends that are Democrats. I have friends that are Republicans. Like, I might not agree with you and we might joke around and talk shit to each other. But at the end of the day, again, like, we want the same things. We want health. We want prosperity. We want to feel appreciated. And we want love.
Absolutely, man.
And that's it.
Absolutely.
I had to bring that up because like, more people need to speak on it.
Absolutely. Biz and I have done entire episodes
And
speaking
I love
about this
that
shit.
because like it's just, it angers me to see the shit that goes on and like the stuff that they put out there. And then it's like you'll have a black person helping a white person, or a white person helping a black person, or an Asian. You'll have all these different races helping one another, and these the most beautiful videos. And it's like, why isn't that shit viral? Like, why aren't we magnifying that?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit a narrative? Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, why don't we glorify that?
It doesn't get ratings.
It doesn't, exactly. It doesn't fit their narrative, and they just don't push that shit.
Right. That's one of the things I love about, I mean, it's like the double-edged sword, too, of not having sponsors and shit like that, but I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
And you know what? Like, no one can tell me we can't talk about this or that's approachable. You know, like I sat down with a good friend and long-term client, like, man, that had to be way over a year ago. And we ended up talking about race for like an hour.
Yeah, people are afraid to talk about it. It's like, why?
And it's like, why? Like, let's get that shit out. Like, Biz and I did a whole episode. We talked about the Super Bowl shit and like what my perception of was and what his was and like why we both felt like we had different information and like why people were reacting in different ways and like just to have a conversation and show like, I mean, I don't think we either of us really totally agreed or disagreed with the other one, and it didn't fucking matter.
Great. Yeah, before the election, I was talking to one of my mentors, and he was living in LA, and he's been on the Ed Milet podcast. Like he's got a very big presence. But anyway, he's like, man, it was crazy because then he moved to Texas before the presidential election.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's just crazy to see what they put out on TV over there and what they put out on TV over here.
Yeah.
It is so manipulated across the board.
Even in other countries, like you travel the world and you're like, I can remember being in Jordan and watching TV with the subtitles so that I knew what the hell they were saying. But like you watch the news over there, it's way the fuck different than over here.
Yeah.
Or even when we were in Europe, or, you know, you just, people that don't get the experience or the opportunity to travel are really missing out because not saying that they're not doing a lot of the same things in other countries and still manipulating it, but yet you could have like literally watched the same news story here, got on your plane, flown somewhere else, get to your hotel, trying to unwind, flip on the news, and watch a whole nother version of the same fucking story.
Right.
And that's just mind-blowing.
It is. Yeah. People are just programmed, and when we can take emotion out and just use logic and like really take a step back and look at things from a different lens,
Yeah.
you start to become a little bit more aware.
That, and I think also if we could quit trying to put everything in little boxes and things that were convenient and simplify it to a human being, right, wrong.
Right versus wrong. That's right.
Like, I mean, it's pretty clear. Like, I mean, a 5-year-old, whether or not they agree with you, knows right and wrong.
Correct.
So, I mean, if we could simplify things back to that and quit with all the other bullshit, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we'd be in a much better place. Hopefully, we can get back there one day.
I feel like we are progressing.
I hope so, man.
Me too.
I
pray.
see it at times.
Yeah.
But it could be a lot bigger effort across the world.
For sure. For sure. We just need more voices and more people speaking up.
Yeah. Well, dude, I want to thank you, man. It's been a fucking pleasure sitting down here with you.
I appreciate you. Yes,
And
sir.
thank you, man. We'll definitely have to have you back on because I know these people are going to want to see this again, and maybe who knows what we'll get into next time.
I'm down. Let me know.
All right, brother.
All right.
Well, thank you, man. I hope you guys all enjoyed this show. I know it wasn't on our normal night. We'll be back again next Thursday for you guys. Peace.